tried hard, but I guess I gotta try hard. I try so hard, can't seem to get away from misery. Man, I try so hard.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Football Weekly Show. Today I have two very, very inspiring individuals joining me. Robbie Kasanga. You don't mind me calling you Robbie, do you? Robert, Robbie, Bobby. I've been told you get called Bobby as well. And then we've got Richard Riakporhe.
Yeah, you got it right.
Boxer, founder, and you were a footballer as well, really, weren't you? Do you guys want to introduce yourselves a little bit more? Tell us a bit about yourselves.
You know first? My name is Bobby Kasanga. I founded Hackney Football Club, which is Hackney's first semi-professional football team. So we play in the 9th division of British football, and we also run a charity called the Wick charity, which helps to engage young youths and keep them away from crime.
My name is Richard Riakporhe, and I'm a professional boxer, up and coming. I've had 6 professional fights now. Come from a tough background and changed my life through boxing and other things.
Okay, we're just going to touch a little bit on football.
Yeah.
You're an Arsenal supporter. You're a Blackburn Rovers supporter.
Blackburn Rovers.
What made you choose Blackburn?
It was the 93-94 season. I think I was maybe 7 at the time, and I was starting to enjoy football, like football. Man United were the team at the top. So my brother really supported Man United. I was like, oh yes, I'm going to support Man United. Like, no, you can't support the same team as me. So I looked at the team that was second, it was Blackburn. I said,
that sounds
okay.
a bit like my brother, actually.
Yeah. So I looked at the team that was second, it was Blackburn. I said, okay, yes, I support Blackburn. And then, fortunately for us, the following year we won the league against Man United.
Yeah,
so
I remember that very, very, very clearly.
So I've stuck with them ever since, even though we're in League One now. But that's my team.
Do you go and watch them quite often? Or?
I've not been for a long time. For the last time I went was when they played Charlton at the Valley, way back when both teams were in the Premiership. So I haven't been because it's hard to travel to Lancashire, and because I was playing myself as well on the Saturdays. I had to dedicate my own football.
So what, were you a semi-professional footballer?
I used to play semi-professional, yeah.
Okay, cool. And then obviously you're devoting a lot of your time to Hackney.
Yeah, so now we've started Hackney Football Club, and it's just amazing that seeing it from the other point of view, because when you was younger you just wanted to play football, but seeing it from the other point of view of all the finances, all the administration, the policies, yeah, it is a lot.
Yeah, and what about yourself? You're Arsenal?
Yeah, Arsenal. Well, I would describe myself as a passive football fan.
Okay.
I felt so emotionally engaged at one point, but because of the way my club was run, and I just realised this is just more of a business. It's not for the fans. So maybe step back, and I'll just stop following football. But I just support Arsenal.
Because you've got Arsenal Fan TV, and Robbie's done like an amazing job.
Yeah.
I think he's actually got a Channel 4 show now. It's like more of a fan kind of programme. But he just started that off, and the great thing, well, sorry, it's not really that nice to say, but obviously with Arsenal's very up and down kind of, you know, it was great for him, like standing outside the stadium and talking to fans, because the reactions were just phenomenal.
No, yeah, I mean, I think he came up with a brilliant concept, because when the fans are really emotional, win, lose or draw, that's when you want that's the clearest reaction you're gonna get. When you got a couple of days later to think about it, then the reaction will be different. But when you can get their emotions right there and then, like he's spot on, and now you're seeing lots of other fan TVs coming up trying to follow the same formula now.
Yeah, definitely. So he's kind of been the main one, and then all of a sudden all these other clubs are creating. But there's been so much talk with Arsenal as well, because like everybody's just been on Wenger's back, haven't they? It's calmed down a little bit now.
Yeah.
But there was a point where I just felt so sorry for him, because you've got to look at a guy. I mean, sometimes you look at his face, he just looks so drained. But he's got a great business mind. I think he might even have a degree in either psychology or economics. I can't remember which one it is.
Maybe philosophy also.
He's like a professor, isn't he?
Yeah.
And it's just, it wasn't nice to see it happen to someone that's, you know, been so loyal to the club. But then you can understand the fans' perspective as well. You haven't won anything.
I just feel like he hasn't moved with the times. Like everybody's changed their type of their setup, their play, but he's just doing the same old thing and expecting different results. It's not going to work.
I think what it is with him is that he revolutionised British football. He came with a philosophy and changed everything around. So I guess in his own ideal is maybe that, well, I've created a change in British football, so I deserve to keep being involved with the change. But when I speak to a lot of Arsenal fans, it's like the older generations, we love him and we're not sure. Younger generation don't know about the history, about the Invincibles and what he actually done and what the position where Arsenal were. So they're just seeing, they've grown up, their parents support Arsenal, they support Arsenal, they're seeing Arsenal are a team. So if a kid is 8 or 9, all he's ever known Arsenal to be 4th and 5th or 3rd. They've never seen the championships. They're like, who's this guy? Like, Chelsea get rid of their manager, United get rid of their manager, Man City get rid of their manager. Why are we still the same guy? So the younger generation don't understand it. But if you look at it from a broad perspective, he's created so much, generated so much income for that club. Is that the board
got a very good business brain.
Very business brain, but he's a bit similar to me. He's very stubborn.
Yeah.
He's very stubborn, and I said this to an Arsenal fan the other day. I think he just wants to get one over the Mourinhos and the Peps, because if he can just win the championship, then he'll retire. Because they get on to him, you ain't won nothing in so many years. It gets to him, and I think that's a problem.
I think another problem with him, obviously with Arsenal, because it's been such a big talking point, it just appeared more to your generic fan as well as your Arsenal fan that he's just quite happy, quite settled with like settling for like fourth or fifth position. And to me, where's the ambition in that? Like,
there's a passion.
Yeah,
you don't see
not
it in
good
his body
enough. It's
language.
just
I guess it gets to a point that where you've achieved what you've had achieved in football, apart from winning the Champions League, I guess, and you've created so much income and money that you can actually retire. So you think, well, what more do these fans want from me? What more passion do I want? I've been at the club for 20 odd years. What more do they want me to give? I've given it all I can. Okay, maybe it's a time for him to step away, but like I said, I think you just want to get that one Premiership.
Or even just Champions League, because they've never won the Champions League either. You know, his kind of career, or the path of his career, has been completely different to Sir Alex Ferguson. You know, Sir Alex embraced change. Every year he would embrace change. He knew what had to be done to keep the club current. You know, to keep them up there with all the other top like teams. But Wenger just hasn't done that. You know, and it's like when Fergie, so I'm going to refer to him as Fergie, good old Fergie, red-nosed Fergie, when he retired as a champion. And he knew his team was weak, but he thought, do you know what? My wife has been totally dedicated to, I think his wife's name's Kathy. You know, she's been totally dedicated to me throughout my whole career. Now it's time to give that back to her. The difference is he left as a champion. Will Wenger, whenever he does decide to retire, because I don't think that's going to happen, not at this precise moment in time, but honestly, I think it's time for him to just give it up now.
He's got given a 2-year contract, so next year I'm assuming it'll be his final year. I don't think he'll want to do it anymore after this. I think. But
you're right. He's a very proud man. He's not going to want to leave like that because really he's leaving on a low.
But you never know. Win the UEFA Cup, got Arsenal back in the Champions League. I left with a European Cup. I quit. You never know.
Maybe that's what he's waiting for. We don't know. It's very difficult to tell with him. I think with certain managers you can tell, but with him it's like what you said. It's really much emotion. You know, sometimes he might put his head in his hands and be like, but you don't really feel. I just don't feel something. There's something missing.
I think it's just the players. You can also see that in the players as well. In my opinion.
Yeah, massively.
Sometimes they don't have that type of fire. You know, like.
They lost their leaders, innit? The Vieiras and the Sol Campbells and the Petits and the Henrys, and then if you see they replace them with kids, very good kids at that, but they replace them with kids. I mean, your Aaron Ramseys and they're very talented, but they've not got that sort of I'm gonna win
like
everything.
Your Vieira and your Roy King days, is it? Like proper leaders, proper like you can feel the passion.
And I think that's what's happening in football in general. I mean, you still find that in the lower leagues, like in non-league football, like where the guys, I think in the professional football, because it's so sort of well maintained and everyone's like trying to protect themselves a bit more, so you haven't really got that natural. Actually, I'm probably wrong, but I'm saying you got that natural hunger. But I guess they do have that hunger to actually make it to a profession in the first place. But I guess it's just the tenacity that doesn't seem to be there anymore.
I think you'll find that a lot in, probably more so within the Premier League, the amount of money some of these players get paid on a weekly basis. But then you look at the likes of, say, Blackburn Rovers, and you look at what some of their players are on, but they want it so much more. You'll find that in the lower leagues, they're desperate because they just want it so much more. But then it's a bit like, it's a bit like I Have a Tiger song. You change your passion for glory, and you find that a lot in the Premier League, rather than you do in the lower leagues. And now I'm going to start with you, Rich. So you're going to be besties now after this. Please tell the audience, because I've obviously read up on you. I know quite a fair bit about both of you, and I find you both immensely inspiring. And I want all the viewers, I want all of you to listen to these guys' stories, especially youngsters, people that are getting themselves in trouble, people that feel a little bit lost. Listen to their stories. So we'll start with you first.
Hi everyone. My name is Richard Riakporhe, as I told you before. And I grew up in southeast London, like around the Peckham, Wharf Road area. And growing up, was very challenging because we were just in that type of environment that breeds people that are not successful, people that end up getting up to all types of badness. And it got to a point where I reached a point when I got to secondary school, when I was like around 15, 14, that was like the pathway where it's either you continue with the studies or you go out in the streets and get up to no good and explore. And I just chose to get up to no good and explore the streets and that type of lifestyle. Next thing you know, I found myself stabbed, I found myself in prison, I found myself paranoid, just getting my mum's house raided every month or two. I was completely in like a place of digression, and I just thought, you know what, it's time for me to change, because I just felt I was giving my mum so much stress, and I just wanted to kind of be a blessing. I wanted to change my life, and I was just thinking of how can I do that? And then I found boxing. I found one of my friends, Yemi. He used to throw a lot of punches and show me some shots, and I never used to know how to anticipate a shot or block. Even though he respected me so much because of the street credibility, it was like I know he could knock me out in 1 second. But you know, I have the heart though, because I want to learn.
You showed that in your last fight, because everybody was talking about that.
Yeah, I think. So yeah, I just wanted to learn like how to throw punches and see how well I do. So I got into quite late, around 18. And,
but didn't you want to be a footballer first, because you enjoyed playing football, didn't you?
Yeah, I wanted to be a footballer. I used to play for, do you know Jason Yu?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his mum had a team. It was called Wyndham Rovers. Ah. And yeah, I used to play for a team, and Jason used to always come see us, and even some of the boys got signed and stuff. But it was the weather. The weather stopped us from coming out. When it, like Saturday in the winter, trust me, it's not the one. And me and my brother decided to just play computer instead. Just play computer. But anyway, I got into the boxing, and I started doing well. I was getting a lot of TKO victories and stuff, and I thought, you know what, let me just see how this goes. But at the same time, I come from an African family, and they take pride in education. So I wanted to give something back to my mum, and just study, and obviously get a degree. It was a big ask. Like, in my mind, I didn't think that was possible, to be honest. Like, me getting a degree, wow. Like,
why did you not believe that you could do something like that?
It's just because of where I was coming from. I was never interested in school and my environment. Nobody that I know has a degree. Like, I'm talking about, like coming from where I came from. Mm-hmm. Nobody don't have a degree. No way. They dropped out of school from like secondary school, and that's it. So I took it to like that next level.
So you didn't really have a role model or anyone to look up to, did you?
My role models were drug dealers, gangsters. That's it. Because that's all I could see around me. And plus, from obviously getting the money and them looking a certain type of way, getting attention from women, it seemed perfect.
Like, I guess when you're 14, 15 years old and you're looking at guys that, you know, are walking around in like fresh new kicks, nice jeans, nice clothes, you know, you're thinking, yeah, they're driving around in a nice car. Yeah. And if that's all you've got to look at around you in your surroundings, then you're going to I want that as well. Yeah. If they can do it, I can do it. But it'd be different if you had someone like, oh, I'm going to be going to university, I'm going to be doing a degree. I'd be like, oh, okay, I quite like the sound of this. But if you don't have that, then it's very easy. You can only go with what you're looking at in front of you.
Exactly that. Environment is a major thing. Like, I would say to parents with children like that are involved in different things, they need to take them out of this country to see different things. Not forever, but just so you can experience. Like, for instance, when I was very active, my mum took me to Thailand, Bangkok. She does business and trading and stuff. So I saw a different way of living. In London, one of the first things I noticed was obviously the road rage is quite serious in London. And when I went to Thailand, somebody would cut somebody off like blatantly, and all they would do is just beat and just carry on around. Like, no
very
way.
Calm.
Very calm and collected. So I learned so much from that. Even when I went to Japan, Tokyo, same thing. Very calm and collected people, like very classy. And I bring this back, so it changes my behaviour and the way I act. So
but I think I think it's a little bit difficult sometimes because there are some kids that come from families that can't afford
it.
That's
problem.
Another thing as well, because there's so much unemployment. There's single mums as well, single dads as well. Let's not forget there's a lot of single dads out there that are raising their kids.
Of course.
And you know, it's not that they've got that council estate kind of mind. It's the fact that your opportunities are so limited, because really I think the biggest problem is, especially within London, I don't think there's enough help. I don't think there's enough. I think there's endless opportunities if you want them, but you have to be realistic about, hold on a minute, I don't have the money, I can't afford childcare services. The money you have to pay for childcare now is just ridiculous. I just don't think there's enough backing or enough support.
I think definitely. I think I agree with that, and also a lot of people don't understand the system that these kids are in. It's very difficult, and it's changing. It's forever changing. Even me, it's changed since my time, but I can still understand, obviously, most of the things that's going on at the same time because I was involved in it. So it's important that we have people that have been involved in that lifestyle, that have done other things, that change, they become like successful in different fields, and to go back and to talk and to take them kids out of their environment. Like, that's what I want to do. I want to like do like a trip where I'll take a bunch of kids to like somewhere else, like where we can mingle with different people and talk and bring them out of their comfort zone, so they can
educate
see
different cultures, isn't it?
Exactly. It doesn't even have to be like a different country. It could be
in the UK.
In the UK. Like I've been to, like, you'll be in East London, South East London. Listen, take a trip up to Knightsbridge. It's completely different. Different people.
I definitely don't fit in there. I can tell you that now, mate. I've gone through like Knightsbridge and stuff. I went to Buddha Bar? That was ages ago. Just looking around me and I'm thinking to myself, Sonny, you just don't fit in this place. But you know what? I don't care. Do you know what I mean? You know, you get given an opportunity to have a nice meal. Simple as. I don't come from a privileged background. I don't know, a lot of people kind of look at Asians or Indians in particular. You know, a lot of them, you know, say, oh yeah, they've all got BMWs or they've all got Mercedes and stuff like that. And people just kind of look and think automatically they come from a rich family because their parents, you know, they work really hard, they save their money. I didn't come from that. I had to earn everything. If I wanted my Nike Air Max trainers when I was at school, I had to get an A in my English, or I had to get a B in maths or something. But my dad made me earn it, and so did my mum as well. So yeah, I think you're right. It's nice. There's so many places in the UK and probably within London where
100%.
Kids can learn from other kids and different. And this is one of the biggest problems. It's the postcodes.
Yeah,
postcode.
Funnily enough, I just tweeted something about that. So I put a picture of all of our youths. But right now, that's why I was running a bit late this morning. So our under 8s, under 9s, under 10s are all playing friendly matches today. But I've got them all together, and I've said we've got a kid from Dalston, Stoke Newton, Stamford Hill, Homerton. We're all over Hackney basically. They're age 8, 9, 10, whatever. They're friends, they're teammates. 8 years from now, they're going to be 16, 17. And I said, God forbid they're ever in postcode wars. But if that ever happens, they can say, you know what? Nah, I know his mum, I know his dad, I know his siblings. He used to play in the same team as me. He used to play for Hackney Football Club. So no, I can't get involved in that because they got that guilty conscience. So you're trying to, from a young age, teach them that postcodes are irrelevant. Teach them that you started together. You're no different. So why, when you grow up, you're going to represent a block when you all was united against under one team before? So yeah.
And one thing I'll add to that as well is, because you're putting them in the team, it's like it's keeping them occupied. I got in a lot of trouble just because of boredom. That's it. Like boredom. Yeah. We had nothing to do. Yeah. So we'll go, okay, let's go around this area. I heard this guy was chatting some like rubbish about us. Let's just see what they say.
And then make a big drama out of it. Yeah.
Next thing you know, we got a case on our hands. Like, it's just that's how simple it is. So once you keep the kids occupied, they don't have time to do anything. Like, for instance, when I started boxing, I had to train for championships. I didn't want to lose, so where would I find the time to go out and chill on the block with my veterans?
And I mean, just to sort of add to that in my story, because the things you said, so I didn't even know you were from Peckham. I'm from Peckham. Okay. So I went to Wick Park Secondary School, so I used to be in the Peckham Boys gang. And like I said,
this is why I knew you two would be great together.
And like I said, Chris Congo is a family friend from when he was a kid. So basically, my history is that I used to play football, one of the best in the area, and you join the gangs, don't you? So you're not concentrating on football no more really as much. You're trying to do the whole gang stuff, and then before I knew it, was getting involved in street robberies, and that sort of escalated to do security van robberies, and then it got in situations where there was murders happening, and I was getting arrested for those things, and I had to sort of like prove my innocence, and then.
But you had an alibi, which was the truth, because you were at football training or something, weren't you?
Yeah. So just to be caught up in that was very scary. To think like, why would they think it's me when it's got nothing to do with me? But because your name was going around, the people who's hanging around with, you became sort of the prime suspect. And that really taught me a lot. So when I actually ended up going to prison, I saw so many talented people. And I'm like, be it writers, be it singers, actors, footballers. I said there needs to be a change, but I was still young when I first went in. I went in, and within a year I was back in again. But then the second time I said, you know what, this life can't be for me. So I dedicated myself to trying to study. So
you done at Open University.
So in criminology and social policy, got funded by the OU. So with that, it actually made me learn, similar to what you were saying. Crime's always our decision, but it's what you have around you, influences your peers. So I always say the biggest influence on any child, even more so than their parents at a certain age, is their peers. Because no one's parents taught you to do wrong. Your parents didn't teach you wrong.
What you are with who you surround yourself with.
So when you get 15, 16, you know, my mum told me I need to be back home at this time. But then your friends saying, oh no, let's go down that road, And you end up going down that road, and then things escalate. So with me, it took me coming back to going into prison for a second time to learn. And I was only released 3 years ago when I was 28 years old. So I wasted my whole 20s. I spent from 20 to 28, I spent in prison. So when I was finally released now, and football's always my passion, I said, you know what? I'm going to try and give back to the community I was living in at the time, which was Hackney, and I'm going to start a football team in the borough. So we started Hackney Wick Football Club, which is like maybe 5 minutes from here. And we now run 17 teams. We've got women's team, men's team, girls team. We're a semi-professional football club at that, so we play in the 9th division of British football.
Did you play last night?
Yeah, on Thursday evening, and we lost 2-1, but we might be getting relegated now. So, but playing the FA Cup for the first time, getting these kids to play the FA Cup, playing the FA Vars, London Senior Cup, we played against AFC Wimbledon. So all these kids now, we're keeping them engaged. So like similar to what we were saying, keep the kids busy. We got them for 3 days a week. So we know for those 3 days, we're influencing them, we're teaching them, they're with us. For those other 4 days, we don't know what they're up to. But I can guarantee, if there was football every single day, they will come every single day. And the more you're doing more positive stuff, the less you got time. Like he was saying, the more he was doing training, he ain't got time to be on the roads. So the more these kids are engaged in positive activities, they're like, oh, I like this. Oh, I have to go and do it. Nah, I ain't got time to go and do that because I like what I'm doing. So just about trying to keep them engaged and, like you said, taking them to other places. We just took some of the kids last year, simple places, to the National History Museum. It's free. You don't have to pay for it to enter there.
I think people forget that we've got so many places that are free that you can take.
Museum, galleries, let them see other. Because a lot of them in Hackney just know Hackney. They can't even go to Islington, for example. But I'm saying, you know what, let's take them out of this environment, a bit of respite. So we took them to the National History Museum, and they enjoyed it. They found out all about animals, all dinosaurs and crocodiles and ancient stuff that they wouldn't even know about. And then the other day, they all went to go and watch Black Panther, which was funded by another organisation who work with Hackney Crest. But just things like that, just to get them and give their parents respect, because their parents can't always afford to do these things, as we said. So it's about just trying to create change and trying to let these kids know, like...
It's taking them out of their comfort zone as well, because once people actually do that, they realise, you know what, I actually really enjoyed that, but I never thought about doing it, you know? I think another thing with you that I wanted to touch base on is that you could have gone to the Olympics, but he chose to go to Kingston University and do a degree.
No, that's amazing.
Exactly that. So like I was on the verge because I was training with I was really close to Gary Hill, and Gary Hill, he works with the Olympic team right now. So he used to tell me, like, listen, the division is wide open for you, Richard. Like, so he used to say, like, the division is wide open for you, Richard. Like, literally, all you have to do is go there, give it your best, learn, keep consistent, and trust me, once you win that medal, you will change your life. That's what he used to say to me all the time. And one day, it's like, my mum was always asking me when I'm going to study and stuff like that. I just thought, you know what, let me just do an access course and see how it goes to get into uni. I do it part-time, but I didn't understand how that would affect my ability to compete, as obviously I did before. So once I completed my access course, it was a social sciences and humanities, and then I decided to study marketing. So I've got a degree now in marketing, communication, and advertising.
Brilliant. And the same as you, criminology, Open University course. It's just ridiculous. And from where you've come from as well. You stabbed at the age of 15 at a party. I think your cousin got shot as well, right? Yeah. And then with you, in and out of prison, and you're thinking, for the second time, man, can I really go through this again?
Even to say that my brother got shot 4 times, but he managed to live. So things like that, it was scary. It was scary at one point. So, and funnily enough, I was speaking to one guy who used to be very active in sort of one of the Hackney gangs, and he's like in his 30s now. He's like, I wish someone could have told me some of the stuff you guys are doing now. And he's trying to influence the youth now as well. He's trying to make change as well. And there's not enough role models. There's not enough people going into the estates and saying, guys, let's do an activity today. Let's go to a football club, or let's go. Just the kids will do it. There's no one taking, like you said, you're just sitting on the block, nothing to do. Oh, let's go on. If someone's actually engaging them, giving them positive activity, 100% these kids will do it.
I'll tell you, and you know, it's not, obviously there's a lack of role models, of course, but there are role models but are not being promoted on the scene, on these platforms, as they should be, because once these kids are seeing, like they will be able to identify themselves in these role models. So it's like, oh, he came from the same place I come from. I could do, if he could do, I could do as well. It gives them that type of encouragement. So I think it's happening now with the music. The music scene is crazy.
Because you got referred to as Stormzy or something, I heard. I hope you're listening, Stormzy. We got your twin brother here, mate.
It's actually the Cosmopolitan, the magazine. That's funny, but you can have a read of that.
Shut up.
So it's like they just need to be promoted. So the UK artists now, people are making it on the music scene. That's excellent. Now we need the boxers, we need the footballers, people that come from that type of background. Because once they see it, they'll be like, oh, he did it, I can do it as well. So many people stop me on the road when I take trays and I'm like, oh, Richard, I've been waiting to see you. I just think you're inspiration. I want you in my video. Just to say, listen, no problem.
See, that's exactly what it's all about, because you know I'm doing something good. I've done something good
very
for these
accessible.
people. And it's the same as you. I mean, you've been on mainstream media because of what you were doing. You're making a difference, the same as you. Every time you get in that ring and you've got people watching you fight. I mean, I heard that a whole load of people from your school came and you've done a talk there. You're always doing talks. They came to watch you fight because they're thinking, he went to my school and look at him. Like, he's fighting, he's a boxer. Look at him, in and out of prison. And what you've done for your community, that's just, it's an achievement in its own.
And like what you said, like a lot of these things are not promoted to the level they should be. And like I said, I was speaking to one of the guys, and he's in the music scene himself. He's like, you know what, more platforms should, because like you said, the music is doing really well, and they're getting the views, they're getting the platform. But if there's more, if these kids can see more of these things happening in different channels, be it boxing, be it football, be it where they've got shows like this, where it's being promoted and people are watching and engaging, it allows the kids, you know what, I want to be like that person. Because don't get me wrong, I'm enjoying the music and I'm all for the music in terms of what it's allowing these kids to escape from. And I guess it has sort of negative connotations with some of the lyrics and so on.
I think you'll find that always with music, isn't it?
Yeah, so, but I encourage, I say, look, it's getting them out, they're talking about their experiences, not necessarily what they're living right now, so more power to them. So these kids can think, you know what, that guy's from my street and he's just started making music and now he's out there. Maybe I'm going to start writing down my lyrics but I don't know, man. I mean, it's such a complex issue on what's going on at the moment. But
it's been quite bad, obviously, as we know over the past couple of weeks. Obviously, I can't believe how quickly the show's gone. I could have just carried on, to be honest with you. Like, I just wish. Sometimes we were actually offered an hour show. Should have bloody taken it, shouldn't I? But just while we kind of obviously come towards the end, give out your social media platforms. And yourself as well. I want you guys to follow them, keep up to date with what they're up to, follow their journey, and these are the types of role models that, you know, obviously the youngsters and the next generation need to be looking up to.
So my Instagram is @R_RIAKPORHE, and it's the same on Instagram, Twitter and Instagram, and you can follow my YouTube channel that I just created, Richard Riakporhe, same surname, but Richard.
When's your next fight?
I haven't got a date yet for my next fight. I fought like around 3 weeks ago now in the O2.
You fought with the Dylan White undercard, didn't you?
Dylan White versus Lucas Brown, cracking show. And I wait for a date. I should be out in June. So I'll keep everybody up. If you follow me on my socials, I'll keep you updated.
Make sure you come and watch this guy fight. He is an amazing talent.
Robert Kasanga. You can find me on Twitter at Robert Kasanga. On Instagram is Robert Kasanga 20, and you can also follow our football club, which is at Hackney FC. I just want to add, we're also doing the United against Knife Crime match, and like I said, because football and music is a way out for these kids, so we're having a match versus all the UK grime rap artists. So we've got people like Clue, Young Teflon, Don E, Kojo Funds, Young Bane. They're all going to be coming on 29th of June, so make sure you get your tickets.
Brilliant, thank you very much, and we'll see you soon. Bye.